Okay, there we go. There's a Centurion tank, medium/main battle tank of British origin, used by a hell of a lot of NATO and Commonwealth armed forces, including the Australian Army with the Royal Australian Armoured Corps. Saw service in Vietnam, but in other armies it fought in places like the Middle East. I think it saw service in Korea. And arguably the best Western/NATO tank of the period from, say, the early 1950s right through to mid-late 60s, maybe even early 70s. I think you'd have to start to think about the Leopard as being its replacement as the best Western tank. Did a lot of good work in Vietnam with the Australian Army the Australian Task Force in Vietnam. Now, we're going to move away from what NATO had to what Warsaw and the Chicom forces had. Here we go. A BMP AFV, or IFV. And then we've got, I think that's a T-59. And that might be a T-72. Yet again, there's no name. And next to that, we've got an OT-64 Czech armoured personnel carrier. Let's go down the back here as we go past these bits of Warsaw Pact / commie gear. There we go. There's a Type 59 MBT and a Type YW531 armoured personnel carrier. Chinese. And probably that vehicle, as well as, hey, I was right, it was a T-72. See, I do know my tanks. And that's a Type 69, yep, okay. Type YW701 command post vehicle. Now, if you ever get a chance to have a look at old footage from Tiananmen Square, you see this bastard, and I think the other Chinese armoured personnel vehicle being used. Oh, look at this now, this has got a reference here. This Type 59 main battle tank. Here you go. This example was captured in South Vietnam by the Army of Republic of Vietnam, RVM troops at Hai Lan, Quang Tri Province on 4th of July 1972. It was presented to the Australian Government and underwent evaluation in Australia for several years. It has been on display in the museum since 1974. Wow. Nam Son 72, that was a big South Vietnamese offensive. By the way, if you notice, they've had lots of statues and things of owls. I think it's basically to keep the starlings out from shitting on the armoured vehicles. So, if there had been a battle in, say, the mid-80s, late 70s, between Warsaw Pact forces and NATO, this could well have been this T-72 backed up by this Type 69 would have been fighting up against, amongst other armoured vehicles, the Centurion over here, plus, and we'll get to it later, the Leopard Mark 1 and 2. Cool.